So you would have seen the thumbnail, because I haven't. I'm Marco, and we're going to create whatever that thumbnail looked like. Now, just a heads up, I'm going to be using a few add-ons, so they'll be linked below, but let's create whatever I'm creating. So because I know that I'm going to go isometric, first thing we do is Alt-R and Alt-G to reset the rotation and the location of the camera. To start off with, I'm going to rotate Z 45, so we've got that 45-degree angle. Rotate XX, so we're rotating along the normal of the camera, and 60 degrees. And then that way we're going to press G, and then if I go ZZ, we're kind of going along the normal, back, go into camera view. This is what we're looking at. Let me just go back to solid. From here, we're going to change the orientation. I want a square picture. So let's go 1920 by 1920. We're also going to change the camera from a perspective to orthographic. So it's kind of like flat on, and you'll see in a sec. So you can see how it's more like that. Let's we'll just zoom in a little bit. And yeah, let's kind of make it up now. So back into wireframe mode, I'm going to bring the bottom face up to 0. And this is obviously going to change where the camera is located. And with this one, I want a little bit of dirt ground. So I'm going to go GZ minus, because I'm moving down, 0.9. So there we go. Nice little base. Now I know the default cube is, I didn't delete it, but oh well. I know the default cube is 2 by 2 by 2. And so that's kind of like the measurements that I've worked off there. We probably will end up moving the camera, maybe a little bit higher. So that should be fine. From here, what I'm thinking is that we're going to have almost like the side of a spaceship. I reckon that'll work out well. And so let's go tab into edit mode. I'm just going to grab that edge, Shift D to duplicate, and then P to separate the objects. So now they're separate objects. Let's select that, go E to extrude 0.1 along the Y-axis, minus, there we go. And we'll select that, E to extrude, let's go 2 meters. Seems like a fairly good number. Just going to move the camera up. The scale does look a little bit off, but we will continue because we can expand the walls a little bit later. From here, let's add in a new cylinder, and I'm going to increase the number of, go this way, number of edges it has from 32 to 64. And then tab into edit mode, rotate X 90 degrees, and then this is going to be kind of like our portal, I guess. So we go something like that here. And then we're just going to intersect it with that piece. Now with the Bool Tool enabled, we go Edit, Preferences. I'm going to type in Bool, and you can see that I've already got that one enabled. I'm going to select my cylinder as my cutter. I'm going to select the face as my face. Control numpad, Control numpad minus. And you can see now that we've kind of cut that hole in there, and that's what we're after. I'm not too worried about geometry in this one, because it's just kind of like this isometric style piece, so I don't really care. But let's kind of go with that. Let's just select the face there, the side of what I'm going to call the spaceship, and we're just going to press Control A on the modifier to apply that modifier. Let's go from here. I'm going to delete that. We don't need that anymore. Now I can come in here, grab this circle, Shift D, and I almost kind of want to make a bit of a, kind of like a bit of a porthole. Let's go GY. Yep, perfect. From here, I'm going to press Control L to select everything that's linked. Let's press P to separate by selection. And so I just want to work on this ring for a sec. Add modifier. I just want to throw in a solidify modifier. It should be able to generate. There it is. Now you can see how it's kind of gone all haywire, especially if I increase the thickness. Looks wrong. Now that's because the normals, or the way the faces are pointing in the wrong direction. So if we were to come up into here and select face orientation, you can see how I've got red and blue. So the red's the back of the face, while the blue's the front of the face. Select that. I'm just going to press Shift N to flip the normals, and wham bam, thank you ma'am, we're cooking with gas. From here, while we're here, I want to set this to be the edge of kind of like here, And because we've kept everything to scale within the same units, I know that that value needs to be 1. So if we come to the top there, item, transformation, it's going to be 1. And we know now that is sitting right on the edge. Perfect. Just get rid of the normal thing for now. And then we can focus on this. Now I am thinking of kind of like a door that's maybe slid open. And so if we're at this angle, we'll probably see a little bit of the door there. Now, how are we going to do that? I'm going to select the circle, Shift D. I'm just going to move that to the side a little bit. Press P to separate by selection. Get rid of the solidify modifier because we don't need that. I'm going to press F to create a face, E to extrude. So we kind of have, this like circle. And then we can come into here, move it back to about there. And then we're just going to move it in. So it kind of looks like as if the door's been open. Let's now apply the solidify modifier on this. Tab into edit mode. I'm going to go, I'm going to click Control R to add in an edge loop. Control R to add in an edge loop. Alt left click on one of the inside edges to create kind of like that loop. Let's press E to extrude. Alt S so it scales along the normals. And now we have kind of like this groove on where this door was sitting. Now, obviously the door is peeking out here. Not what we want, which is fine. We're going to chop it. So from here, I'm actually going to select all this, delete faces. And that's fine because that's deleted all the outside faces, but not the ones that I wanted. So I'm going to select here. Let's make sure we're selecting the right ones. We'll just do it like this. C. And if I want to do a slice straight through there, I can press J. So that was someone who taught me on the live stream. I had no idea that existed. J. And now we've got this face and this face. Delete faces. And let's kind of get rid of that and that face. And then I'm going to select those two edges and press F to join. So now when we're here, we can see this is what we've got. So from here, I am half thinking that there should be maybe kind of like a door, like a sliding bit that hits the ground. So if we kind of just guesstimate, let's do this. Oops. Select these two edges. I'm going to scale along the X. And so this is kind of like what I'm thinking. G to the Y. And then from here, it kind of comes down like so. Do we make it a ramp or do we make it a kind of set of stairs? I'm thinking let's go make it a set of stairs. Now, for those of you who have been on Instagram, would have seen this trick. Or actually, if you're subscribed to YouTube, you would have seen it as well. Extrude, and then we go Z all the way down to the ground where we want it to be. I'm going to select that edge, Control B to bevel, all the way to the end. Now we get this menu. From here, I can select custom profiles and presets, and we can go steps. And then I can go ahead and add segments to it. And so now we've kind of created this cool staircase, which is not too bad. I like it. Add modifier, generate solidify modifier. And we'll just increase the size of that and also turn on even thickness. And you'll kind of see how it seems like a bit of an angle, but once we turn it on, it'll snap to being an even thickness, which is pretty handy. That there's a bit of a problem. I don't like that. But that should be fine. We will live with it. Well, actually, let's decrease that. Now that's resolved our problem here. Yep, I'm cool with that. And I will probably put a bit of a barrier around it. So we'll fix that. Oh, but then it goes kind of like away from... Nah, let's leave it. I'm down with it. Let's leave it. So let's go ahead, and from here we kind of want to create kind of like a boundary to this ramp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this vertice, and this vertice, Shift D to duplicate. GZ1. Now I've moved it up 1 so I know how high it is. And then from here I'm just going to press F and F to create kind of like a vertex there, an edge. Select all that's linked, P, separate by parent, separate by selected. Well done, Marco. I am going to keep the solidify modifier on for a sec, and I'm going to extrude down Z. And let's go maybe 0.2. I think 0.2 is a little bit too much. 0.1. 0.1 sounds good. And then I'm going to bring that down. And I don't want it to intersect too much. Let's bring it this up now. All right. Let's narrow the staircase a little bit. And then the solidify modifier we can increase, which is easy. And then the question is, can we bring it down any further? Maybe, oh, that's fine. And then we're just going to make a cutout, delete face. Nice. Now I want to flip it over to the other side as well. Add modifier, generate mirror modifier. Let's click on, oh, it's already done it. Easy. So here we are already. I'm going to go shade smooth by angle. I am liking that. I feel like maybe we could probably even put a little bit of a console here, and that's what will open and close the doors. So let's go ahead and just quickly model something. Now I'm going to put it on the back section. Just in that way, we don't have like a console here blocking the staircase. So let's go something like this. How high is this? We need that to be on the global so we can see how high it is. I'm going to go about 1.25. Yeah, that's about right. Not really what I'm going for. So let's maybe times that by 3 along the X. Bring it down. I'm going to put that there. Let's delete these vertices. GZ. And I'm just going to create a face. E to extrude. And then that means now we can go a little bit wider. And from here, like I said earlier, I don't care about geometry. So I'm actually going to select these two edges, Control B to do a bevel. Let's just change the profile back to default. And I'm going to undo that. Control B to do a bevel. Let's bring the segments down back to 1. The super ellipse, whatever that is. Control Z now. Now I can go Control B, middle mouse wheel, and we're just going to increase the number there. From here, we're going to do it along these edges as well. Control B, just a small little bevel. And then what we can do is with this face here selected, I think we might go I to do an inset, E to extrude, and then we'll see if we can just put in an image in there. With this section in here, let's kind of do something a little bit fancy. Now this is something probably would be best done with like KitOps or KitOps, HardOps, so on and so forth. But I've never been really able to grasp HardOps, probably even Gridler you could use. But we're just going to do this manually. So what I want to do is a bit of a cutout. So we're going to go something like that. Let's put 2 edge loops through there. And now I'm going to actually select that whole edge, move it in. And then I'm going to select these. Yeah, sure. Scale them out, scale them on the y-axis so they're a little bit thinner. I'm going to select those 2 edges, press F, and then F, F, F. And now what I can do is scale along the Z, scale along the X, and now I've kind of given it just a little bit more bedazzle. Know what I'm saying? You hear what I'm putting down? I do. Nice. And I think what we might add, we might not see it, but it's there, just kind of like a bit of a support piece. E to extrude, E to extrude, GG. And so let's have a look. Nice. Nice. I do feel like we need a little bit more on the staircase. So what are we going to do? Let's do a Shift D to duplicate. P separate by selection. I'm going to pick one, GZ1. From here, I'm just going to clear the solidify modifier for a sec. And we're going to put an edge loop in like this. Oops. Scale along the x-axis. I want to get rid of these edges. Delete vertices. Kind of want to do a bit of a pattern per se. So maybe if we do 2 edge loops, scale it sideways, do another 2, Control B, something like that. And then if we edge loop each of these steps, I'm now going to clear the bottom half of these steps, like so. Delete faces. So now we kind of have these individual steps. I mean, you know what, actually? What if we delete that? GZ minus 1. GZ minus 1. And we put it in like so. Oh, actually, that's even better. Now I'm going to Shift D duplicate 1, and then we can kind of create some sort of pattern in a way, just to give it some extra love. So with, actually probably box select with B. There we go, delete faces. And so now we have, yeah, this is looking good. So from here, what's this edge doing? I don't like you. Delete edge, delete edge. Come on, mate. I don't know where you came from. Just clearing that out. What I'm thinking is if we select all this, and we could go there, select all that. Come on, Marco, pull your socks up. Scale on the x-axis. So we got some shenanigans here. I'm going to go Shift S. I'm going to select that, Shift left click on that, move to last, so M to large, or merge to last, M to last. Let's just select everything. M, merge by distance. And hopefully that's cleared some out. We still had 4 vertices in there. Let's now go GZ minus 1. However, I'm going to add in our solidify modifier. Where are we? There you are, mate. 0.001 and make the offset 0. And then with these stairs, add modifier, generate solidify modifier. And then that'll go on the other way. Let's go even thickness. Even thickness. I think maybe we've got some problems with normals. Nope, I just hate you. I'm half guessing. Oh yeah, let's go merge by distance. What the heck is that? I think that's because of, yeah, there we go. So we had some weird vertices chilling around. So let's go select that and that, delete edge. U, GG. GG. Let's select that now, merge by distance. And do we still have a problem? We don't have a problem. Excellent. We've got a problem here. So I got a feeling that we have on maybe this one. Yep, there we go. Merge by distance. Let's just going to increase the size of the merger just down here a little bit. There we go. And that seems to have fixed that problem. Might do the same for this. Merge by distance, increase it. Beautiful. Let's give the beams a little bit of extra love. I'm going to do edge loop, let's apply the solidify modifier now that we've done all our work. And I'm going to select those two edges, E to extrude. And then I'm going to delete that face there. And then that face. Let's go delete face. Let's put an edge loop through there. Come on, Marco. Select these two faces, and then this edge loop, scale X0, and now that's lined up. And then I can press, I think I can press FF. F, nope. You want to be a jerk. Delete face, delete face, delete face. Now I can go F. F, F, just to close that out. Nice, nice. Bit of a problem there. That's fine. Delete those faces. Delete them. Don't really care that that's going to be semi-visible. Cool. I like it. It's a really good base there. Now the thing that's probably going to sell it, now that I think about this even further, is this tunnel needs to kind of keep going, but we need to lock it off kind of on the right side there. So with that in mind, I'm going to do E to extrude on the y-axis. And then all I'm going to do, actually, GY. And then I'm going to press GG just to move that vertex along the normal, just so it's hidden, out of whack, whatever you want to call it. Let's grab this edge loop, Shift D, P, separate by selection, grab that edge loop. We'll increase the size of it. Select all. E to extrude. Yeah, sweet. Now I'm just thinking what would be the best way to chop that. I am semi-thinking that we just put in a cube, face it this way, and then that's our chop. I mean, it'll be an easy chop. So we can try that. So if we do something like here, I actually don't know if this is going to work. So with the cube selected, shift left click on the other one, control numpad minus, still present. What if I rotate it Z45? That hides it from there. Just move you that way, mate. And then let's do a Shift D, Alt R, rotate X 45. And I'm just going to try and put that into place. Control numpad minus. Oh, sweet. Easy. I like it. So now we can kind of work on this tunnel, even though we've got it chopped out. Now, if I had moved all the vertices manually, when I go into the edit mode, that means I would have kind of like a really weird circle. Just going to add a little bit of extra decorations in here. Let's now go E to extrude, Alt S, like so. Right click, shade smooth auto. I do like that. I feel that we could almost grab this piece again, Shift D, rotate minus. You know what? No. Let's go how a submarine looks. So if I go into a plane, G to the Y. So we've got something like this. From here, Shift S, cursor to selected because I want the cursor to be on that object. Shift A, we're going to go into a cylinder, scale that puppy in, Shift left click, Control numpad minus, cut a hole in there, Control A. Beautiful. Go away. So now what we can do from here is I can go E to extrude. I'm going to go E to extrude again, but we're going to scale on the y-axis. And then we're going to grab these edges, E to extrude, scale, Shift Z. No, did that wrong. Let's just select top face, bottom face, E to extrude, scale on the Z axis. All right, cool. From here, let's rotate that 90, and we are going to put it in here. And what that's going to do is almost be as if it's supports. I'm just thinking, actually, maybe we should Shift S cursor to selected. Nope. Shift S cursor to selected. So now it's in the center. Where's my piece? Is that it there? Let's now go Shift S selection to cursor. From here, G to the X. And we're just going to make sure that slides into a position just so it's protruding out of the wall. And it seems a little bit too big, so we'll scale that down. Move it forward a little bit. So we've got something like that. Array modifier, array. There we go. Does that make sense now what we were making? I need to be careful with this. Let's go rotate 180. And then that way we know it's where it's sitting. Now, because we've done that, what I'm hoping is when we go into the spin tool, we're going to select the Y. I am going to rotate. Let's go rotate 60. What are we doing? We're doing 12. Oh, actually, that might make sense. Let's go 11. 360 means that. Let's go 12. And that'll mean that. Brilliant. Now, the only problem with this is we're going to have all these pieces hanging out. But we should be able to go through and delete them. Or, let's apply that array. I'm going to shift left click on that, shift left click on that object, control numpad minus. I hate you. There we go. And we'll do it on the other one as well. Easy. Easy. Let's go ahead and maybe just give this cylinder here a little bit of extra detail. E to extrude, Alt S. Something like that. Make sure we right click shade smooth. Cool beans. And we kind of want to go through a pipe that goes up into here, somewhere in there. So the way I'm going to do that is Shift S, cursor word origin, Shift A. I'm going to add in a curve. Bezier? Yeah, go Bez. Oh, yeah, sure. Doesn't matter. I'm going to press Tab into edit mode. We've got our curve there. Let's make sure we've got everything selected and delete. From here, I'm going to come into the draw tool. And we're going to go over into the workstation, the tool data. Click on surface. So now when I draw a line, it's now drawn in a curve, which is pretty cool. From here, we can go into the curve settings, go into geometry, increase the depth, I believe. Yep. And so now we have this kind of pipe that goes from our console out here to the inside. I'm going to go back into select mode, and we're just going to clean up the direction that this pipe goes in, like so. I think that we should probably move that over, probably move this over. Let's just tidy it up a little bit. Something like that. And then from here, where can we go? Just going to dump it in there. Let's see what happens. Semi works. Do we see it going off? Nah, the pipe is way too thick. So let's just kind of bring it back down. And just going to adjust this a smidgen. Even though we might not see it in a sec. So let's go Control S to save. Nice. Now, from here, I'm going to select this face. Shift D, P, separate by selection. Let's select our top face. And this is where I'm going to start using some add-ons here. From here, we're going to go into Polygony. And we're going to select the Botaniq add-on. So at the top here in the new Egon tool that they have where they're combining stuff, let's go into plus. Nope. Let's go into ground. Just going to open up a new window, browse assets. We're going to click on this one, go into Botaniq. I want some grasses. And we've got a pretty big list of grass. I feel like PPS grass flowers. I'm going to select that. That's not bad. And then we're going to go with almost like another grass underneath. Might be a little bit too much. We'll see. Control S to save. And I'm going to select render view. Oh my goodness, we're still in Eevee. I haven't even touched render settings yet. Over into render settings, engine, cycles. I love it. Let's go into 3264 straight off the bat. World, I don't know. Maybe what we'll do is select the dot and then go into sky texture. Let's go into F12 and see what that looks like. Let's rotate the sun around. And so we have something like that. That's looking marvelous. From here, I'm just going to select the ground. Jump over into extreme PBR. So for all these add-ons, links in the description. I want a ground. I want a ground. I want kind of like a ground, sandy. I want soil ground. What if we go, yeah, let's go tab into edit mode, U, cubic projection. And then I'm going to remove that material, add this material. How's that looking? Not too bad. I reckon we might just scale it down a little bit. So yeah, because we're using not the full extreme PBR where it's got all the kind of like group settings. Actually, maybe do we have a darker soil? Are you darker? You're fine. It's not going to have kind of like 100% of all the settings. So if we select this, I'm just going to scale by 1.5. Nope. 0.75. Scale 0.75. Scale 0.5. No, Marco, you did it right the first time. So what I'm doing there is I kind of wanted the ground texture to be a little bit bigger. So that's kind of cool. I'm really liking that. We could even bring the elevation of the sun down to like 2. And then we've got this kind of like nice yellowy glow. And then technically in here, if I go ahead and add in a light, I think even if we do maybe a point light, GZ, where are we? Yep. It would have to be up higher a little bit. And then come over to the right here, and if we change this to like 500 watts, kind of see how we've got that on the inside. If we do a bit of a blue, maybe we go 250, 100. Should be right. But now we've kind of got that orange glow. I feel like I can rotate the sun a bit more. Which way are we going? 1, 0. It's not bad. I'll buy that for $1. From here we can see some of the plants coming through. Now from memory, the best way to do that is if we come into here, I believe there is a density. Nice. If we go right click, hang on, no, I want to select the, sure. Subdivide, there we go. So now we've done that. I want to ensure that maybe everything under here, this is going to be the kind of like the easiest way. There's no plants. Delete faces. And then that way we've kind of gotten past that. You can kind of see that the plants are a little bit peeking through. I don't really care, that's fine. But that is looking quite nice. There's our cable. Yeah, I feel like maybe there should be a light here. I think this panel here should be glowing. So I'm just going to add in a new material, new, and we're just going to give this a blue light. Make sure we change this to emission first, blue light. And we'll go maybe 10. Let's go assign. I reckon it's going to be best to actually put some stuff on the console there. But in terms of what's happening around here, let's just jump into the asset library. All my kitbashing stuff. Now some of these are free to download. Link in the description for them as well. Ooh, this is one of my favorite pieces. I don't know why. Let's do a save. Okay, rotate Y. Let's maybe just do this. Something nice. And then from here, edge loop, edge loop, edge loop, edge loop. Select all these, scale X 0. And then just gonna line that up. If we go into global, I can set that at 1. And then we're just gonna delete all this, delete vertices. Excuse me. Delete vertices. No. I stuffed up there. Let's just undo all that. Because I was in solid mode, it didn't pick up the back faces. So we'll select that now, X 0, and then we're going to go 1. Nice, there we go. Now I can select all this, delete vertices. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Control R. Oh, you're annoying. There we go. C, scale X 0. And this will be -1. And then from here we can select that, delete vertices. Let's just make sure this is now sitting up against the wall. Oof. Just that little bit, like, just gave it that bit of pizzazz. Is there anything else that we could probably put in? You know what? I don't think so. I reckon that looks pretty good just on its own. I'm just going through any other thing that sticks out, kinda. I'm always half thinking this one. Scale, 0.1. Let's go GZ. Where is it? It's right there. So we'll move it into position like so. I'm just going to scale that down. G to the Z, and we're going to bring it all the way down. Rotate Y 180. Just something like that. I do feel like there should be something along here. But I think we can get away with that for now. Cool. What are we looking like? Okay, so 2 different metals now. Let's go back into extreme PBR combo. Ground, let's go into metal plates. Yeah, beautiful. Let's go with this one. I think that one and that one should be together. Let's go add new, select all, U, cubic projection. And you can see that that's kind of like a bit of out of whack. So if we go into UV editing, and we're just going to scale that up by 5. Come into rendered view, and we should see a nice, beautiful pattern. Lovely. However, I want this pattern to be a little bit different. So we're going to find a different checkered plate, this one here. And we're going to replace. And then let's grab that, that, and that. E to extrude along the y-axis. Ugh, I hate you. Oh, what was it? GG. C. Yes. And then that means that keeps the UV settings going. Just trying to select that. There we go. GG. Just hide that. GG. Just hide that a little bit. Awesome. Like, I mean, cool bananas. From here as well, I'm going to go back into my asset browser. Let's jump into my materials. Into materials, I want hull panel grunge. Tab into edit mode. No, that one. U, cubic projection. Perfect. Love it. Going to do the same for that one. Let's go U, cubic projection. I'm going to select my main thing. Well, actually, let's work backwards. Select everything that I want to have that material. Copy material to selected. Nice. Tab into edit mode. U, cubic projection. Nice. I don't like it how this is semi-lined up with the back wall. So I am going to come into UV editing. And with this piece here selected, let's go Control L. And just going to move that off center just so it doesn't line up and just so the insides don't line up. We actually might change the insides to maybe a bit of a plasticky color. And then these outside here can be a bit of a steel color. So this here. Come on. From here, metal plates. I kind of want metal, not a grid. No. Raw. Yeah, a little bit rawish, I think would be good. So that one there, add new. And then we'll select the inside. Replace that. This one here, let's go add new. Get stuffed. You need to move up. And we'll minus that one. Shift S, cursor selected. Problem is, at the moment, is that the sky is not giving me enough light. That's a little bit better. I don't like the fact that we can see this yuckiness, and I think that's because of this shadow. There's a light here somewhere. Somewhere there's a light. I don't know where it is. There it is. So maybe we might change this light. Rather than a point light, we're going into a spotlight. And then this means I can cast a circle shadow. If that makes sense. Let's go something like so. What happens now? I don't know. Ooh. I want to select that black. That needs to be just like a nice black cable. Roughness up. I think this here will refresh that. You can be metal as well. This here probably can be a grunge, maybe. Maybe we do it like this. Yes, 20. F12. I think it looks good. I don't know, but that's kind of like the start of the process. Start to finish. Oh, I don't like that it looks like it's floating. That I don't like. So I think we might do an Alt-G, bring it to there. And then we do have just a little bit of ambient occlusion through there. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better. The edge looks a little bit harsh. So what can we do? Because I mean, at the moment we haven't put any material onto here. So I'm going to do something a little bit silly. Let's go new material. Into that. Let's go into ambient occlusion. Now I suck at using ambient occlusion. But what we can do is I'm going to go into a color ramp. And I want to like really clearly see where my ambient occlusion is. So I'm going to make this pink color. And let's go ambient occlusion. So I got a feeling, oh, I had it right the first time. Awesome. So we'll change this back to white. Go black. Go white. And now we've got just this like ever slight ambient occlusion just around that. I just want to move the camera back out a smidgen. And there we go. F12. All done. Let me know what you think. Do you like this long tutorial? I don't know. You got to tell me. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of like done. Sick.